All right, so without further ado, we'll begin our session so that we have enough time to listen to our colleagues and friends from Unlocking Community. But before we do so, I wanted to introduce myself again. Welcome, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon. I am Cassandra Vicente, the Executive Director of PTPA. It is once again a pleasure to be with you all this evening for our Zoom gathering for the month of October. Thank you for signing up, for joining us. Uh, Before we begin our session today, it's always good to begin in prayer. I have a small prayer here today, but I do see that we have a father on a call here. So maybe Father Jordani, when we're getting ready to close our session, I'll ask you to lead us in prayer for closing, if that is okay with you. I have a very small prayer for us to begin with that I'll be able to read for us all. So let us begin in prayer. Au nom du Père et du Fils et du Saint-Esprit. Amen.
Amen.
Heavenly Father, we come before you today with grateful hearts, united across distance, but joined in purpose. Thank you for the gift of community, for the opportunity to gather, and for the mission that brings us together. Bless each person present here, guide our thoughts, our words, and our actions. May this time be filled with wisdom, collaboration, and renewed commitment to serve those in need. Strengthen our bonds and remind us that even in moments of challenge, your grace sustains us. We lift up the people and all of the communities we serve in Haiti and Latin America. May our efforts be a reflection of your love and compassion. Holy Spirit, be among us now. Inspire us, lead us, and help us to listen with open hearts. In your name we pray. Amen. Au nom du Père et du Fils et du Saint-Esprit. Amen. Thank you again for joining us. A few quick updates. In our last session that we held in September, we quickly presented what we called our pilot, which will be the visits of a few Haiti parishes on behalf of our members who are not able to travel in person in Haiti. And so I just wanted to give a quick update as to where we are with this process. And then also we'll have a presentation by our friends and colleagues from Unlocking Communities who will be able to share a bit more about the services and the programs that they offer in Haiti. And should any of us, any of our members who are present here today be interested in any of the services, they'll have their contact details that you can also reach out to them and seek more guidance and information on their programs and services as well. And we'll have some time for question and answers at the end. So if you have any questions, whether it is on the Haiti visits or also for Unlocking Community, you will also have some time to ask some of those questions. As noted, PTPA, we are looking to offer this initial service to our members. Currently, we are targeting Haiti. This is our pilot. For our first part of the pilot, we will seek to provide this sort of service within the Grand Nord, so the larger northern region of Haiti. So looking at Nord-Est, Nord-Ouest, and the north. So Northwest, Northeast, North, Cap-Haïtien, surrounding areas. So to visit parishes on behalf of our members. For the first phase, which we call phase one of this pilot, we're seeking to visit at least 10 to 15 parishes in the northern parts of Haiti, but we invite all those who are interested to fill out our interest form. Since we launched this program back in September, so we launched it the end of September. As of today, we have received 40 applications. So thank you very much. There seems to be very much great interest from our members to participate in this initiative. And from this initial 40 applications that we have received, I will be reviewing those with our Haiti representative, Monsieur Dumont, who will be leading those visits on our behalf and visiting your parishes. The first list of those who participate, we will be reaching out to those members who have been shortlisted, most of whom are in the north region of Haiti. We have also selected a few who are in the Port-au-Prince area where we feel our team members in Haiti, it is safe enough for them to visit those parishes. So we will be including some also parish visits for the Port-au-Prince, larger Port-au-Prince area. and our colleague Daumont will be heading to the north around the month of November, and we're looking to finalize all these visits by the end of November. So soon, around next week, you should be receiving an email if your parish has been selected for the phase one, for us to start scheduling some calls with you so we can discuss with your parish, go through the planning, logistics process. And as noted, at the end of the visit, you will receive a trip report with some pictures and some interviews, videos, whatever you would have selected from the interest form that we shared. As we noted, there is a cost for us to conduct these visits. It is $500 to conduct these visits. What does the $500 cover? It covers transportation. Our colleague is based in Port-au-Prince, so for him to travel to the northern area, so this cost will cover transportation airfare. If anybody's aware, the travel from Port-au-Prince to Cap-Haïtien or to Kai is relatively expensive. It is a one service provider mainly who provides commercial flights. There are other smaller charter planes that you can take or with helicopters, but it is essentially Sunrise Airways who's providing regular travel between Port-au-Prince and Cap-Haïtien. It will also cover the cost of rental cars. Once he arrives in the Cap-Haïtien area, we would need to rent a car, also fuel, lodging for the different areas that he needs to visit to make sure he has accommodation and food, of course. As we're receiving those applications, we're also noting that some of the parishes, the distances can be quite large between parishes as well. So taking that into account. So maybe at times he will only be able to do one visit per day. So we're looking to have the visit span around 5 to 7, even to 10 days if needed, depending on the number of the parishes that have been shortlisted for the first phase of this program. We recently shared this link via email, but it is also available on our website. So if there's anyone on this call today who has not yet filled out the form, even if your parish is not in the northern region, we still invite you to fill out the form so that we can already receive your information. Domo and myself will be revisiting this list by the end of this week again so that we can have a finalized list for the phase one. And we'll also be shortlisting for phase two, which we hope to begin again in January. And we will also provide those details on which diocese will be selected for phase two of this pilot. We'll also share all the lessons learned, what has worked well, what has not worked so well, what are some of the challenges, and how we intend to mitigate some of these challenges for the phase two. Since this is a phase one, so this is a pilot for us, we will not be accepting members to participate in terms of accompanying us in the field. So to come to Haiti to go with us, just because of the security situations, we don't know when things may change. Currently, right now, there's the hurricane, there's it's a Hurricane Melissa at this point. And so we would not want to expose any of our members to any potential challenges in that sense. So for the moment, only Monsieur Daumont and the team in Haiti will be conducting those visits on our behalf. If there's anything specific that you would like us to cover as part of this visit with your parish, you're more than welcome to connect with us. We'll have scheduled individual calls with members who have been shortlisted so we can go over the details of your specific parish for those visits. So just giving a quick updates here for those who have potentially filled it out already. If you have not filled out your interest form, you can always go on our website. The link is also included on our page. And if not, you can always reach out to us via email. Karen is also on the call here today. Either Karen or myself will be more than happy to assist you with this. All right, we do have our colleagues from Unlocking Communities. I will let them introduce themselves, and I believe you can also share your screen. You should have that option. If you look down at the bottom, there is a share option in green, so you can click and share. So I will leave the floor to my colleagues for Unlocking Communities to present themselves, but also share a little bit more about their organizations and the different services that they offer to our parishes. Thank you all.
Thank you, Kassan. I can start us out. I'll just before I start sharing my screen. So my name is Heather. And again, a huge thanks to Kassan and the Parish Twinning Program of the Americas for inviting us. I'm here with my colleague Ernso. And we are excited. I think that I know there's quite a few members on this call, but we have previously worked with kind of different chapters of the parish twinning program. So some of you may be familiar with Unlocking Communities, as well as our founder and CEO, Josh Goralski, who has a very, very long time, both personal and professional connections to Haiti. So Josh is not on the call today, but Ernso is our Haiti country director. So probably the best possible person to be presenting on our clean water access programs. So I'm the director of partnerships for Unlocking Communities. I'm based in California and just joined the team full-time in August. So I am the newest member of our team in charge of both fundraising as well as just developing general thought partnerships for our programs. And I'll let Ernso introduce himself as well.
Hello, everybody. My name is Ernso Sylvain. I'm from Haiti. I am the country director for Unlocking Communities in Haiti. It's a pleasure to meet with you all. I still remember the days I would go to parish training program office in Port-au-Prince, sleeping there with my friends who is also on this call. We've been at Master 25 Hours for several times. And it's been such a pleasure to learn more about the parish training program through Eve's, through the other sister was there. I still remember her face was smiling every time we were about to sing the song Manger Salvo Ebanoa before we eat. It's a pleasure to meet with you all, and I'll be very happy to share a lot about the work we do in Haiti with Unlocking Communities, specifically around clean water.
Thanks, Ernso. Okay, bear with me while I just share my screen and let me know if you can actually see it. All right.
Looks
okay.
good.
Is everyone able to see? My view is kind of funny, so as
Yes,
long
I can see it.
Perfect. Okay. Excellent. So I can start us off. We just have a brief overview, and like Cassandra mentioned, we're both Ernso and I are happy to provide lots of additional detail on any of our programs that we go over today. So yeah, Unlocking Communities, our overall mission being empowering communities in Haiti with both clean water and cooking solutions. And I'll dive right in. So who we are. So we're a 501c3 nonprofit social enterprise with the goal to catalyze a threefold mission here. So economic, environmental, and social transformation or resilience in the hardest to reach communities in Haiti. And this is all done through 100% community-driven, community-led clean water and cooking solutions. So we'll get into how we do that a little bit later. As mentioned before, we partner with and serve last mile rural communities. So kind of what makes us unique is that we are most excited about and most willing to work with hardest to reach rural communities. Ernso has much more to say about that, considering that he started our programming in Hinch in the Central Plateau of Haiti. And we've seen a significant success with our community-led clean water access and clean cooking access programs there since we were founded in 2018. And then this is redundant, but our guiding principle is that communities know their needs best. So we are invited into our partner communities. So we are proposing solutions and asking for community-led solutions rather than quote unquote imposing our own ready-made solutions, which is part of, this is kind of key to our success over the past few years, is asking community members and community social entrepreneurs, as well as community leaders, such as church leaders, school leaders, government leaders, kind of what are the key needs and urgent kind of essential needs of communities, and how can our social entrepreneurship model bring sustainable solutions to communities who are identifying these needs. Like I mentioned, we were founded in 2018, and since then we've impacted over 750,000 people, including in 50 partner communities across Haiti. Yeah, which is very exciting. And again, as I mentioned, I've only been around for a couple months with this organization. So, I think this is also something, the impact I think he can speak to, and how impressive, especially with recent events, both environmental and political shocks in Haiti. Our organization has actually been able to grow rather than be negatively impacted. Another testament to kind of the sustainability of community-led solutions. So our people and partners, Ernso and myself, we already introduced ourselves. Just briefly, some of you may know or have connected with Josh at a conference before, but so Josh founded Unlocking Communities in 2018. The idea was kind of born out of a longtime personal connection that Josh had. His parish actually in Chicago had a longtime partnership, and Ernso, you can probably speak more to this, but basically had a parish twinning partnership with the parish in Haiti. And Josh regularly kind of engaged in one of the partnerships with selling coffee and other products that were exported from Haitian entrepreneurs and business owners. And so Josh would sell those as part of his, within the context of his parish in Chicago. And at a certain point, the exports coming from Haiti just stopped all of a sudden overnight. And Josh was wondering, what made this program unsustainable? Why are these entrepreneurs in Haiti, why are they having to rely on, a community in Chicago selling the agricultural exports that they're producing? And so from there, Josh kind of wondered, well, how can small businesses in Haiti become self-sustaining? And how can that be done specifically for social businesses that are also creating positive environmental, health, and social benefits for their communities themselves, rather than exporting, agricultural goods to the United States? How can social businesses create positive returns for their immediate communities in Haiti? So that's kind of the very basic founding story. And then Julia is our very important chief operating officer. And then we have some of our full-time team in Haiti that Ernso is in charge of, featured here as well. So we have our water filter factory manager, Vincent, our training manager, Bedrige, and Kinada, who is a regional manager as well and involved in our entrepreneur trainings. And I'm happy to answer any questions. I know there's a lot going on in this particular slide, but just as a general overview. All right, so then getting into our model and why it works, why it's community-led, and why it's self-sustaining in Haiti. So as I mentioned, our ultimate impact areas, right, are getting clean water as well as clean cooking options to communities who have identified these needs. Our approach, as I mentioned, is based in a social enterprise model. So we, and by we, I mean the team led by Ernso, train local entrepreneurs through workforce development, as well as tools and capital in the form of seed financing to create self-sustaining small businesses for products that improve economic, environmental, and social outcomes. So threefold outcomes in their communities. So our general model is that we don't follow a distributor model, because we've seen the unsustainability of that, especially in a context like Haiti. So we basically pair business know-how. So that's, again, education and workforce development, business basics training, plus seed funding. And we have found that leads to long-term community-led change. So our three impact areas, as I mentioned before, economic, environmental, and social. Just a quick overview of what we mean when we say this. So economically speaking, Our entrepreneur training program creates job opportunities for self-selecting aspiring entrepreneurs in our partner communities. So they undergo a locally led business training. Again, Ernso's team, who have background in both their own social enterprise development as well as education, lead these business basics training. And then following completion of the business program, we provide subsidized product inventory to our business graduates. So this removes barriers to entry for aspiring social entrepreneurs. So essentially, once they've completed the program, they receive products at no cost to them. And then they're able to sell these sustainable products in their communities, and those create the positive return on investment for the entrepreneurs themselves, as well as cost savings for customers. And that's because, if you're a household that purchases one of our household water filters, you're saving money not only on avoiding purchasing plastic bottles or plastic canteens for water, but you're also saving money on secondary things like medical costs that come from treating waterborne illness, several times a year, et cetera. So we have actually a model that calculates the exact cost savings that our products are creating for households. The environmental benefits of the products, which again are household water filters and improved cook stoves, these are pretty self-explanatory. So both of our products reduce carbon emissions in communities, as well as reduce plastic waste. And then part of the entrepreneur model, which I think is kind of the coolest piece of our model, is that our community-based entrepreneurs are not just undergoing marketing and sales for these products, but the sales program is also accompanied by product training and behavior change. So if you're selling a household water filter to a family, it's also the responsibility of our community sales agents to train the family on water and sanitation behaviors that accompany use of the water filter, as well as be available for potential follow-up questions or repairs that are necessary for the filter. And then finally, social benefits are, of course, we are creating sustainable income streams for our local entrepreneurs, as well as transferable business skills. So we find that a lot of our aspiring entrepreneurs, in most cases, they are not just selling the sustainable water filters or cook stoves. They also have their own small businesses on the side. So our business basics and later on potential business leadership training gives them these transferable skills that they can then, continue to invest in their communities, whether it's through building a seed farm or some other agricultural endeavor, which Ernso can speak to because he has his own successful farm that he scaled. Yes, and then finally, I'll just mention here that we recently did a return, and I'm happy to share this with any of you, a little bit complex, but we did a return on investment model. So basically we looked at cost savings, both direct economic cost savings for households, as well as calculations of environmental and health benefits on our products, and found that for every $1 of philanthropic capital invested, our communities are getting $20 in community impact. And again, that's in the form of cost savings from avoiding certain illnesses, as well as direct increases in income from saving money on things like plastic bottle usage, et cetera. All right. And Ernso, I think I will let you take it over to talk about the actual community sales program here.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Once again, like I met Joshua back in 2017, we met through a friend of ours, which is a Father Fritz, and Josh was telling me about his experiences coming to Haiti since age of 12. And he was telling me about like his church partnering with a church in the South, mainly Yeah, in the south part of Haiti, mainly in Artibonite area, not Artibonite, I would think that was in Jeremy area. And he was talking about like some of the program they studied that fails out, and they couldn't find out why that was a failure consistently. And he introduced me with the idea of selling water filters to communities. And when somebody meets you for the first time and explain our program to you, you have so many questions about it because you want to make sure you get everything right before you get involved in that. And I asked Joshua as many questions as I had to. And I even told him, hey, I need to be the one using the filter for the first time because if I have to get this started, I will need to go back with that enhanced, which is my hometown. That means I want to make sure I have a full proof this is something a good, accurate we can use. Because if I something is happening in Port-au-Prince, I have to go back to my hometown. That was the story I explained to Josh, and I got my first water filters back in 2017. Used it for a few months and found out it was working because I did so many other tests in addition to the lab test that Joshua provided me with because I wanted to make sure everything was okay. And that's how we get on the journey of starting unlocking communities, what we call débloquer community in Haiti. So like that, we all take me directly like how do we work on our sales model? The first thing we always want to make sure we do is we empower local entrepreneurs. When we say local entrepreneurs, we don't mean exactly people that are doing actually business. We're talking about community leaders, school teachers, medical, like crews, could be doctors or nurses, pastors, priests. We work with all the people from different background. As soon as they have an influence on their communities, they have groups they meeting. And once we do that, what we do is our team, what we do, like we try to call them, we meet them through partners. Those partners could be churches, could be like a local organization, could be grassroots organizations. And then once they get us involved with, get us in touch with certain people in the communities, we have a base survey with them, asking them questions to make sure they want us to come within their communities. Has heard and mentioned that we don't just bring solutions. We come to communities where people really want us, want our products, want our skills. And then once we do that, we do our first visit. If I go, like you go like this one right here, like on that little house, we do the training, we do the first visit, we do our general presentation of a view of our organizations, our products. And then if everyone is on board with that, we challenge them to sell at least five of our products, mostly water filters. And then if they sold out those filters, they are qualifying to follow our 15-hour training, which covers like a marketing, personal finance, technology as well, and wash like sanitation in general. And then once they receive these are 15-hour trainings, they sign up a contract with us for 1 year to be our entrepreneurs. And what they do is they are responsible not only to sell the products, but also to educate the households, like the families that are using our products. And then once we do that, and then they collect the money, and our when they finish the training, of course, they sign the contract. They nominate like a one manager and one assistant manager, which is from the people who receive the training. And then that manager would be responsible mainly to manage all in community stock, training, meetings, monthly basis. And then like once they sell out the products, each entrepreneur get a commission for selling the products and also for the commitment to train people on how to use those products properly. And then like the money they collect after paying the commission, the manager wires that money to their business account to recycle more products, like to give them more inventory. So then when we give them the inventory, we give them like a zero interest rate. So it's just a community based like a trust. Like we don't know them. We just go, we make sure we meet with them, we make sure they are the ones who select like who they want to be entrepreneurs, who they want to be these people they want to work with, because they know the communities better than we do. We basically provide them with the skills they need, the products, and they run this. And once we leave, they would just communicate with us on the phone. If they need more training, we would go back. And then that same money would go back out to bring more products. And this is like the first one of our programs. I can talk more later about the other program we have. And then one of the interesting fact about our products is they are eco products, like they help to preserve, to protect environments, to provide people with access to saving. Because like one of the survey we did 2 years ago, we found out a family was saving at least 200 goods from not buying water or from not getting sick because they're drinking bad water. So we have a lot of testimonials about like the water. Some of them we can prove, some of them we cannot prove them. Some of them might even believe that if you use that clay, because our products, I'm gonna talk about the products later, because it's like a natural products like a clay, sawdust, like a things they can see. And Haitian also are used to what they call cannery, which used to be the way they would store water. My grandmother had one. I still remember those things. When you go get water, what it does, it would just keep the water fresh. Once they see our pot, they think, oh, this is like something they used to. They really want to use it, not only for the health benefits and economic they have, but they really feel they have a special connection with that pot we're selling. And yeah, if we want to go again, I said like we identify the communities, we do the training, we give them the products, they sell them, and they pay commissions off of it, and then they pay more money, they get more inventory. That's how it works. If I want to go next slide, please, to talk about the products. So the water filters is our main master product because this is how we start the program. When we start in 2018. I still remember Josh shipped me only 100 of these systems and I had to pick them up from Port-au-Prince. We had our first training at a restaurant in Hinge, and everybody was fighting over it. And this is not just like we're trying to make a story, we're trying to make like to sell the products, but like I said earlier on, these special connections they have with clay, with the natural products, they feel like this is something they see like that could really help them out economically and to provide them with good health. So when we started our entrepreneurs defined our model, has her motto has asked me how to save money and health. What do they mean by that? People not buying water anymore, not going to the hospital because they can access clean water. That's what they mean. That was a very good slogan they used to make sure they sell the water filters. Like if I go right now with the water filters, it's a kit. So we have a pot made out of clay sawdust. Right now we're using, I'm gonna talk about the factory later. This one we're using here, using like a clay sawdust that would clean the water about 99% based on the lab we saw. And also we even did a test with DNEPA, which is like the Haitian authority, like in terms of water they did the test. They found out this is a really good products. We used to import them from the DR and also from Guatemala. And those filters will last like for 3 years plus 3 years, depending on the type of water they put inside it. What happened with this filter, it can filter any type of water unless it is not poison or like has mud in it. Like it is like we put like a rainwater in it, like river, well, different type of water. But the only thing like it will last longer depending on the depending like on the type of water you use on it. Because if you use a well water, which may have like a more like calcium in it compared to river water, it will last like a less time. And also it provide water for a family of 3 to 5 to 10 people. And they don't need to really wait as people would use bleach or Clorox to clean water. They don't need to wait at a set like for a certain amount of time before they can drink the water. Once the water being filtered, they can just drink the water. So what happened with that water, what something that is very special about that water as well is the process, the filtration process, like remove only the germs, like only the bacteria, but preserve all the quality of the water compared to people selling water in Haiti. They remove every element from the water, but from that system, they basically remove all the bad guys from the water. People get that clean water they can drink. And it's been phenomenal listening to the story, to the testimonials. One quick story I want to share about it. One of our entrepreneurs was trying to sell the water filters in Tomont. I think Tomont is part of a power training program as well. And that one customer was really mad at that entrepreneur, didn't want to buy the filters. And then all of a sudden, like at the first shutdown of Haiti happened, and someone relies on water, like people selling water to bring water from Hinge to sell it in Tomont because they didn't have like a way to treat water, like to filter water. And that same customer had to go back to the entrepreneur, ask her for water to save their 6-month-old baby's life because they could not access any type of water. And he has to apologize because he made a bad mistake. He did not choose to buy the water, but he had to come back to not only ask for some water to save the baby's life, but also to buy new filters. And there are so many other stories people using that products. Some of them are scientifically like, can prove, but we cannot prove some of them. Some people might believe that whenever they drink from the clay pot, if they have like a stomach issue, that would go away. We cannot, but it would be like a better for you to listen with your own ears instead of me telling you the stories. And the second product we have is a clean burning stores with what we call a ratio miracle and Creole. So that we introduced that as one of our products like about 5 years ago. And we used to buy them in Port-au-Prince at Setemo. Setemo is like downtown. And we found out they could not supply us with enough products because the problem is there's always a lot of need, but there was never enough inventory to supply the communities. And we turn to China where we get all the parts and we assemble them locally. And what this does is it allows a family like to save like a more than 50% of the charcoal they would use comparing using the Haitian made stoves. And with would find out people would say like it's very efficient and then it's like I provide less smokes and then also have them to not exposing to like a health issues like breathing the smoke from the charcoal and everything. And also like he has a lifespan is like over 3 to 5 years depending again like how often they use it. And also in terms of like a carbon emission, and it avoid like emission of 4 tons of dioxide of carbon every year. And right now we have other products we would like to implement. We have like a water filters, which is our main products, and we also want to implement also like a solar powered lights and some also cook stoves for schools. We have a lot of ideas what we want to do, but basically these are our main products. So for the water filters, we're so happy this will be locally made in Haiti. We don't have to rely on customs to get access to the products. So that would be very good. If I have to talk about the products, I will keep like until like 8 p.m. tonight. I would say we better go to the next slide. If you have specific questions about one of the programs, I'll be very happy. So on the top of our cell programs, we have what we call like a kind of like a phase 2 of our program when we choose to provide like a loans to our top sellers. So whoever sell like the significant amount of filters in each community, they qualifying to a heavy business training where they learn about how to run a business, writing a business plan. And once they finish that, and then again, we review those plans. We make sure we make the needed corrections and then talk to them, making sure everything is good. And then they would have a loan between a 3 to 5 thousand US dollars to invest in their own businesses. For example, like last year we provided like a 5 loans to our top sellers, and most of them are doing like agricultural based programs. They raising plantains and raising other programs like other type of crops they're using and sell them on the market. And they also create jobs in the communities by asking people to help them to clean the garden and sell those products on the market. And some of them also like are doing diverse business. And again, this is their business. It's like a loan we give them. We still in contact with them. And one of our very famous program is water filters for schools. For the past few years, we're providing clean water to more than 120,000 students across Haiti, the North Central Plateau area. And we have a few schools in Port-au-Prince that receive a clean water filters from us. But this is like not the same type I showed you earlier. This is called LifeSure, one of our partners in the US. Like we work with them, they provide us with filters with bigger capacity to provide clean water for hundreds of students. So what we do, we train the school principals, administrators on how to clean, how to manage those filters and making sure there are clean water available for students. And his plan for next year, we plan to double that number of water filters in schools because we found out this is so crucial for students. Some of the schools reported that they have a more attendance, they have a more sign up students because they have a clean water right now. And some of you, if you, some of you, you know Haiti. So when you go to school, usually you don't even have water to carry to school. That means if school cannot provide you with clean water, you drink with whatever you find, or you just spend the whole day without being able to drink water. We think this is one of our really good program we have, and we're really excited about it. So far, we want to continue working with the schools, not only to access clean water, but also to promote our programs like many the water filters are for the families. And the next one, I talk about microfinance, and the next one is our biggest dream was ever to build our water factory filters in Haiti. That was not in Hinge actually, because when we were talking about it, Josh was talking about like I do it in Port-au-Prince, and I didn't know anything, but I feel like that was not the right decision at the time to build the water factory in Port-au-Prince. And I refused to just saying, okay, if you're gonna do it there, I'll be very happy to keep selling, keep doing the training program. But I'm not going to get involved because of my family stories telling about like how bad Port-au-Prince is always be. And specifically, he was trying to do it like nearby Village de Dieu area. So we launched our constructions. Can you go to the next slide, Julia? We launched our constructions uh, a few years ago. We buy the land, we put together the building already, and we get all the machines. Everything is set up. We're just doing the final touch right now to launch the production sometime in December. And we hope at the end of this year, we want to challenge ourselves to produce at least 10,000 water filters before the end of the year because we wanted to really make sure we get this happen. And so what you're saying is like an empty right now. It's like the building you see outside. This is where we keep some of our building. We have the kiln being built. We got all the machine installed. It's like all ready to go. We're just doing the final touch right now to get it going. And one of the thing about that water filters is everything is built by Haitians. Some of them, like we were hoping that we would get like technicians from the US or other places. And when the situation has become the way it is, Josh called me, hey, listen, you've been doing your own business because on the top of Unlocking Communities, I founded the first English school in my neighborhood, in my city, in the region. And I also have a farm, which is like about a 40% interest, 40% like a profits, matching profits. I created the farm a few years ago. Josh called me, hey, if you are able to make your own businesses successful in Haiti, you're gonna go to make this happen because the way the situation is, we cannot have anyone to come in Haiti. And I say, hey, we'll relies on technology. Send us all the documents. And my colleague Vincent and I, we studied them for 2 weeks and then try to put everything together. So we were expecting people would come to help us out, but because of technology, because of like our intention to do good things, we decided to study. Now we are ready to process our filters. Last month, we did our first prototype. It came out great. And last weekend, we had a training for our managers, like from different communities in the north. They come for a 3-day training, and they participated like in making our second prototype, which was a really great joy for all of them because they've been asking for the filters for a few years, not having access of those products. And we can say we are so ready to keep making more impacts in the lives of Haitians. And I'm gonna let that Heather go to the next slides. If you have any questions, I'll be very happy to answer those questions.
Thanks. And so that was terrific. And yes, I actually, just to go back there, we have so many updated photos since this was first taken. Ernso mentioned our team, our local team operating the factory, and our factory manager, Vincent, pressed the inaugural clay pot filter. That was actually over like 2 months ago now. And so mentioned that we had our community sale, one of our community sales manager cohorts who were doing a training. Again, this is from our community sales training program, visit the factory and also press another filter just this past weekend. So this is, as Ernso mentioned, a dream that is kind of solidifying the true self-sustaining, recyclable nature kind of our community sales of water filters. And this is going to significantly increase the output of these recyclable clay pot filters that we can provide to local communities, families. So very exciting. And then, yeah, I'll just end on, this is just an overview slide of kind of how far we've come over the past now 7 years. So as we mentioned, we've scaled our clean water access and cook stoves program to 50 communities. We've sold a cumulative 27,000 sustainable products, offset 600,000 metric tons of carbon, and then kind of how this translates to actual community impact is, again, we've reached approximately actually over 750,000 people with clean water and cooking solutions. We've contributed or generated about $20 million in cumulative cost savings for Haitian families, and avoided a cumulative 500,000 tons of carbon emissions to date. So we're very excited to continue scaling these programs. Again, we have programs both targeting schools as well as households. And of course, all of this is based around our social enterprise model for allowing aspiring entrepreneurs to both participate in this business as well as scale their own social businesses in Haiti.
Great.
Yeah, and we'll end there. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Heather and Ernso. I think this was truly informative and enlightening. A lot of our members have a lot of interest in the clean water access, particularly for the parishes that they support or the schools as well that they support. There are some questions in the chat I saw. I don't know if it's Ernso or yourself who just answered the last one, but there are some questions around potentially the cost of those programs for the water filtration in the school system. Also, understanding which areas do you serve in Haiti? Do you have national coverage, national reach, or do you specify in any specific regions within Haiti as well? Some questions around cost for the filters, especially if, as you know, the parish training programs, a lot of our parishes, we support financially our sister parishes in Haiti, right? So how would that process work with such a model, with our members who are here today? And there's also a question around those cook stoves, are they very different from what people are already used to? Is it requiring any sort of behavior change? People in Haiti are very used to cooking, using charbon, charcoal. So is the cook stove any different, or is it requiring any sort of significant educational, accompaniment with that as well? There was a question around the water filter factory, and you did confirm that it was located in Marmont in Esch. So it's a lot of questions. I don't know if you took it down, and maybe you can answer some of those right now. And then if we have some more time, we can take a few more. And if not, I think we can always share a little bit of a fact sheet about unlocking communities and how our members can get in touch. There's a lot of interest around the water filter system, especially for the schools and the parishes. So, yeah.
Yeah, I want to go ahead and answer the questions. We operating in 4 departments right now. We work in Central Plateau area, North, Northeast, and Northwest. We cover all of our 4 departments right now, and we cover also part of Artibonite, mainly in Saint Michel de la Talaye. And we working right now in more than 30 different communities around these 4 departments. The other questions around the stoves, like is it a similar? It's not really that similar because it still use a charcoal. The only thing is it use a less charcoal, like a 50% less charcoal comparing using a Haitian traditional stove. And the cost of for the water filters for the stoves, right now, right now for the stoves, we're selling them about like a 3,400 goods. And again, we rely on a subsidize to cover like the cost of the stores right now. We cannot really break even when we sell out those products at that cost. And we like from last year until today, we sold over 15,000 stores around different communities we're working on. Like in those 4 departments we're talking about, we're selling in all of them. For the water filters for school, I believe Josh has worked with some of the power training members already. They have so it would be better for him to reach out to Josh to learn more what they can do because that will not require only the products. That also requires like one of our team members to travel to the power training to make sure they provide accurate training on how to use it and making sure they are aware of the system. I think we did that like in the north for a few communities that are part of like a power training program already. So for the water filters for the schools, like we plan to sell both products in 20. Once we open the factory, we plan to sell both products between 25 to 30 US dollars both products. And again, with hopes that we're gonna be able to cover like the remaining costs with a credit carbon or support from different groups. And I think the other question was. Yeah, I think I answered most of the questions. I don't know if I missed any specific one.
Yeah, I think you answered the region, I guess the coverage point, the 4 departments. You answered that as well. So thank you very much. Also the cost for the stove. But I think if there's any sort of particular details around how to go about some of those partnerships, particularly through the parish twinning model, because I understand you have a lot of entrepreneur, and I think this can be an educational layer that is added at the community level where our parish members are twinned. So this could be a good opportunity as well. So I don't know if there's any last minute question. We only have about 5 minutes left. Uh,
It's
and
not, not to cut you out. Can I just add one thing for,
Sure.
and yes, I know, thank you all for your patience. No, we had a lot to say. I am happy to share, Cassandra has my email, and as I mentioned, I'm in charge of partnerships of all forms for our organization. So please feel free to send your questions, big and small, just directly to me via email. And I want to make sure everyone actually gets any additional questions answered. Ernso already did a great job of answering, but I'm happy to provide. Ernso, go ahead. You look
Yeah,
like
there is one question I really want to go address real quick about Jean Denis. Yes, we did some trainings for some of the parishioners in Jean Denis, and I believe they're doing good with their businesses. The only challenging they're facing right now is the gang activities, which are preventing them from selling, from operating as they expected. But some of them are still doing good, mainly the ones doing printing. But for those in agriculture, they struggle with the gang activities and Artibonite. but we talk with them very often.
Great, thank you. There's one last question. I think it will be very interesting. Who manages the projects or I guess the initiatives at the community level? So can you answer that?
Yeah, so basically, like the Haiti team, we provide with the training and ongoing support to our communities. When we say communities, we think about the manager, like the managers, like nominated at the end of the training, manage everything with our consent support. So they manage all the sales and making sure they have meetings with other the entrepreneurs. And they often come like 3 times a year at our headquarters in Hinge to receive additional training on managing on other facts of like managing everything. So I would say like I cover everything in Haiti. With my team, we do like everything, but within their communities, the entrepreneurs and the managers train, they are responsible for their businesses.
Great. So, and thank you, Heather, for putting that answer in the chat as well. And as noted, we'll be sharing a lot of this information. So if no, unlocking communities, maybe we'll share like a little paragraph, some details. We can include this information in our upcoming newsletter, so it is readily available for our members, so they can reach out to you for any additional questions on how to access some of these services and bring some of these programs to their communities as well in Haiti. And also very good that you mentioned the accompaniment side of things as well. So yes, you do provide the training initially, but this accompaniment that is available to the members, to the communities, so that they can succeed and thrive in some of these efforts as well. So this is great to hear as well, empowering the local community to lead these efforts. Um, all right. Any more last minute questions for unlocking communities? They're here so we have 2 more minutes. I'm very time conscious, so I don't want to take too few. I don't want to go over time. I know it's late for a few of us here today. Any questions also for the parish visits? If we have that as well on how, if you want to participate in that, we can also cover some of those right now.
I do have a question on the parish visits.
Sure, go ahead.
So our twin parish is in the Lakai Diocese, which is on the southwestern part, which is a long ways away from everything that you've just mentioned, a long ways away from everything. So how far out would you be in doing parish visits there? Just speculation.
Yeah. We intend to at least cover the major dioceses at the moment. So the northern region, definitely we're going there because of the ease of access and also because of security over there seems to be a bit calmer. Definitely the Diocese of Lekai is in the works also, potentially phase 2 or 3. So this will be another diocese that we intend to provide services or accompaniment to visit our parishes. And even the southeast, because we're able to take the flights, there are available local flights for our team members to travel from Port-au-Prince to Cap-Haïtien or to Lekai. So I would say these are dioceses that would definitely on top priority list for us to provide these services.
I wondered if that maybe wouldn't be uh, one of the top spots to go to, being flights are available to get to Lakaya. That's why I asked.
Yeah,
And then
definitely.
as long as you brought up traveling, so I'm kind of curious to get either your opinion or maybe even Enso's on traveling to Haiti, and if that is just a no go right now for Americans. Is that just a silly even thought?
Ah, I mean, and so I mean you can, but I think for us, for me, I think it depends also in terms of who do you have in Haiti, in terms of who is welcoming you, who will be able to accompany you, who will be able to guide you. I think going into Haiti blindly, I would not recommend, especially if you're not familiar with the grounds, if you don't have any good points of contact. It also depends on where you're going in Haiti, I would say. Traveling to Cap Haitien is relatively easy, and I would say for security purposes, I think this is one of the easiest places to enter. This is the only international functioning airport at the moment, and there are flights that are available. The flights are a bit on the pricey side, I will say, but you can travel from Miami, Florida to Cap Haitien. And I would say as long as you have a good group of, community members, friends that can accompany you for your visits. But again, it's also Haiti, so we know there are things that can change at any minute. So to be aware of that situation as well. Now, if you want to go beyond Port-au-Prince, there are many people who do it. I myself, my family members, we travel to Haiti. But again, I feel like, we have that strong connection to the land, to the country. We have family members, and we understand those risks as well. So, and we're Haitians. But I think if you have a good group down there that can guide you and understand the risk, I think traveling to Cap Haitian, to Les Cayes, from Cap Haitian, those flights are also available. Traveling to Cap Haitian to Port-au-Prince, as long as you have that, to me, that could be feasible. But again, being mindful that there can be some risk associated with that as well. Things can change from 1 minute to the next.
Thank you.
There's a question about we're over time, but about the $500. The $500 is specifically for the pilot of the parish visits. This is not linked to the presentation from Unlocking Communities for their services. So the $500, it helps cover the airfare transportation of our team members who travel to Cap Haitian to do those visits, and also covers like their lodging, food, incidentals, rental car for them to do those visits. We will have not necessarily an assessment, it's more so a trip report format where they will conduct interviews based on those discussions that we will have individually with those selected parishes. Okay. All right. Thank you. Again, my email, I'm always just an email away. Feel free to reach out to me. I will be sure to share the information from Unlocking Communities. Thank you all for joining us. And if I am not mistaken, Père Jordani, I don't know if you're okay to lead us in closing prayer, if you're still with us right now. All right, I think your mic is muted, but let me see if I can unmute you. Can you unmute your mic? Okay, here we go. I don't hear you, but you're praying. Au nom du Père et du Fils et du Saint-Esprit. Amen. Au nom du Père et du Fils. Many thanks again to you all for joining us. Merci beaucoup, Père Jordani. Thank you all. Muchas gracias. Merci un pile. I don't know if there's any Spanish speakers, but I just decided to throw that one in there for us all. Have a blessed evening, everyone. Thank you for your time and stay in touch. Bye-bye.
Merci. Thank you all.